This is Ranger Kidwell-Ross, editor at worldsweeper.com, and we're at NPE 2010 talking with John Day of Nite-Hawk Sweepers. So, John, I hope you had a great show. I know we did.
Yeah,
and
we did.
If you would, talk about this Nite-Hawk sweeper we're standing next to.
Yeah, this is the new Nite-Hawk Osprey. This is a replacement or the upgrade from our 200 XLP model that's been out for many, many years. This has a new hydraulic system. The hydraulic system basically consists of a difference in how fluid and oil is moved. We've been able to increase efficiency by about 25% over our previous models, and we've been able to do a lot better as far as performance on the truck and maintenance on the truck. The way basically this works is that we modify flow control on this pump using a proportioning valve. That proportioning valve is remotely controlled from inside the cab. Those controls are infinitely adjustable, and there's no modifications to the engines as far as additional idle controls or upping the idle at all in order to make sure that the pump has the amount of power or the fan has the amount of power that you need to sweep. So you can get full flow out of this pump, full pressure at idle for what you need to sweep, and it goes from 0 to 100%. We'll kind of go over that a little bit later. One of the biggest upgrades we did was actually the location of the pump. We took our pump from underneath the truck and we actually mounted it up on top. One was for ease of maintenance. The other was in order to get a separate tensioner on the belt. So this belt is automatic tensioner technology. It has its own idler as well as tensioner pulleys that actually dry or that keep that belt to a proper tension so that you have very little maintenance it has on it. In addition to that, we were able to cut down a lot of the vibration because now it's dampened toward the engine because it's directly attached to the engine. By doing that, we're able to get it out of the way for damage and also to make it really easy for your mechanics. If there is a hose replacement or a belt replacement, it's a very simple fix. In fact, to replace this belt, all you need is a 1/2-inch ratchet, not even a socket. You detension the tensioner and then pop the belt off and then put the new one on. It's that quick, actually, just like regular Chevy engine. From this point, once we have developed hydraulic pressure and hydraulic flow, we actually have 2 hoses that run the length of the truck. Back into a hydraulic motor. That pressure and flow is diverted via hydraulic manifold either to the fan function or to the broom function. Okay. We actually have a designated 2 gallons a minute that run for that broom no matter what this fan speed is spinning. So no matter where you're at as far as fan power, if you still need power for your broom, you got it available. We eliminated, back here, we actually eliminated all the belts and all the pulleys that are associated with our older drives. And what we did is we went to a single Hytro Lovejoy coupler. That coupler gives us maximum energy directed from our motor to the fan, so there's no energy loss at all. Mm-hmm. It also gives us a shear point or a weak link. If there is a problem, if something gets caught in the fan, if we do have a failure on the motor, we do have a weak link so you don't damage one or the other. These trucks, because of the sophistication of this technology, and because a lot of this technology simply wasn't available 2 to 3 years ago, we actually were in design and testing phase for almost 2 years on the original Raptor, which I know a lot of people know about. It took us another year to develop the technology to adapt to the conventional cab gas units. This truck carries a 5-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the powertrain. It's actually a 5-year unlimited mile warranty on the unit. So we have that includes all the hydraulics. So pump, motor, valves, cylinders, check valves, manifolds, all of those are 5-year unlimited miles. It also carries that on the framing, on the fan itself is also 5-year unlimited. On the hard parts, on the hopper, and also on the controls. Those are all 5-year unlimited miles. What's not covered under that is we have our hoses are covered for 3 years, unlimited miles, and our bearings on our fan are covered for 3-year unlimited miles. And of course, the regular maintenance parts that aren't covered in warranty.
Very good.
We actually, with this truck, we went to all LED lighting. So all of the sweeper lighting that we install aftermarket is all LED. The LED lighting actually is a lifetime warranty. So if you have an LED that fails, we replace it for the life of the truck, which is nice for a lot of contractors.
Isn't that LED has really been a wonderful change for sweeping? Yes. Because of the low power, and we're trying to do so much else with our chassis power anyway.
Correct, and that's actually a perfect segue, because we're going to be, the controls are very sophisticated in order to, very simple but very sophisticated, and we do need some power, and that was one of the reasons why we actually went to LED. So inside the cab, I'm going to jump around the other side when you're on this side.
All right. And we're looking at the gutter broom, which of course swings out as needed, and we have a curb blower here as well.
Got it. Actually, Ranger, can you hand me the keys there? There we go. Got it. Okay. So the controls are very simple but very sophisticated as far as what they do. The pressure and flow modifications are done with a separate control module that's actually mounted up underneath the dash. It's just a small electronic component that senses and varies that proportioning valve for us, and we can do that remotely. And basically how they work, reached across here. We turn it on, the gauge goes through a separate diagnostic to make sure everything's running properly. In order to sweep, we go from road mode, which is our fuel saving mode, which is a de-stroke of the pump, to sweep mode, which energizes all the proportioning valve in the controller. Once we do that, we can use our little rabbit turtle switch here. As we roll up to any infinite position, we can stop and sweep. We can go higher all the way up to 100% at idle, or down if we need to pick up lighter debris to have less blow-by. Typically the sweeper is going to run between 60 and 70% for 90% of the sweeping applications. At 100%, it'll pick up 3/4 to 1 inch rock, as well as sand, gravel, whatever else you find in a parking lot. When we leave the lot, all we do is hit it back to road mode. It kills the pump, back all the flow to the pump, and drops our ignition controls back to 0, and we're ready to sweep. The main reason why we put those in and the controls in this way is so that we can get maximum fuel economy in between jobs while still having the power to sweep lots as we go.
All right. Thanks. That's very straightforward. Certainly appears to be easy to use.
Extremely easy. Yeah.
We all like that.
Yeah, and the ease of these parts as well. I mean, the toggle switches are very inexpensive and generally located at a local store if you don't want to buy them from us. Fuse replacements are actually just below the controls. There's very few moving parts at all, and even the ones that are there, for the most part, you can buy locally. There's some obviously proprietary parts, but for the most part, you can buy the belts, the switches, anything that's really going to fail, you're going to be able to buy locally.
All right. What's next?
Actually, that's it. I wish it was more complicated than that, but it simply isn't. We pride ourselves on simplicity and longevity, and so we, as far as this truck goes, we strive to make a better product, but still continue to have the same simplicity that we always have.
Well, thanks so much, John. All right, appreciate it.
Thanks, Ranger.